The final warning. The crystalline spires of the hegemony's Central Assembly pierced the violet sky of Nexus Prime, their surfaces reflecting the light of 3 distant suns. Inside the Grand Chamber, Supreme Overseer Valthera's 6 eyes narrowed as she studied the holographic display before her. The data was undeniable. Humanity's technological progress had accelerated beyond all projected models. They've achieved quantum tunneling in just 3 centuries, she whispered to her council, a feat that took the Arctians a millennium. The assembled alien leaders shifted uncomfortably in their biomechanical seats. Each represented one of the founding species of the hegemony, a coalition that had maintained galactic stability for 50,000 years. First speaker Zinra, his metallic scales catching the light, leaned forward. The humans have exceeded safety parameters by 347%. Their AI development alone threatens a dozen stability protocols. We must act now, before they advance beyond our ability to contain them. On the massive display, Earth's achievements scrolled past. Matter-antimatter reactors, consciousness transfer, primitive but functioning quantum computers. Most disturbing were their weapons, innovations that the hegemony's brightest minds hadn't considered possible. They're not just advancing, Zinra continued. They're evolving their technology in ways we've never seen. They don't follow established scientific paradigms. They dream things into existence. Valthera rose from her seat, her crystalline exoskeleton chiming softly. Summon their representative. The time for observation is over. Hours later, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before the assembly. Earth's chief ambassador was chosen for her brilliant mind and unwavering composure, but even she felt small before the gathered might of the galaxy's eldest civilizations. Humanity has been summoned to address grave concerns. Valthera's voice resonated through the chamber. Your species' unchecked advancement threatens the stability of known space. The hegemony has maintained peace for 50 millennia by ensuring controlled, measured progress among all species. Dr. Chen's voice remained steady. With respect, Overseer, humanity has broken no laws. We've shared our advances openly, contributed to galactic medicine, helped solve. That is precisely the problem, Zinra interrupted. Your contributions destabilize carefully balanced power structures. Your solutions are chaotic, unpredictable, dangerous. The chamber's AI projected new images, human innovations being integrated into other species' technology, causing rapid and disruptive advancement across multiple sectors. Therefore, Valthera declared, the Assembly has reached a decision. Humanity will halt all quantum research, artificial intelligence development, and weapons innovation. Your existing technologies will be placed under hegemony supervision. Compliance is mandatory. Dr. Chen's hands tightened behind her back, but her face revealed nothing. And if we refuse, then Earth will be quarantined. All human ships will be grounded. All off-world colonies will be contained. We will do what must be done to preserve galactic stability. The threat hung in the air like a sword. Dr. Chen looked around the chamber, noting the mix of fear and smugness on alien faces. They thought they were being merciful. They didn't understand that they were making the worst mistake of their 50,000-year reign. I am instructed to give you humanity's response, she said quietly. The chamber fell silent, expecting immediate capitulation. Instead, Dr. Chen's next words would be remembered for centuries to come. You fear our progress because you don't understand it. You see chaos where we see possibility. You see danger where we see opportunity. But most importantly, she paused, meeting Valthera's 6 eyes directly. You see humanity as just another species to be controlled. That will be your downfall. Is that a threat, Ambassador? Zinra's scales bristled. No, Dr. Chen smiled slightly. It's a warning. Humanity wasn't asking for permission to advance. We were courteously keeping you informed. What happens next is on your heads. As she turned to leave, Valthera's voice cracked like thunder. If you leave this chamber without accepting our terms, there will be consequences. Dr. Chen paused at the door. There will indeed, but not for us. As her footsteps faded, the assembly erupted in angry discussion. They would spend the next hours planning humanity's containment, drafting orders for their fleets, and preparing to teach the upstart species its place. None of them noticed the quantum-encrypted message Dr. Chen sent as she left. Protocol Prometheus is go. On Earth, in bunkers deep beneath mountains and oceans, in secret labs on Mars and Europa, humans smiled as they received the signal. The hegemony thought they were preventing a war. They were starting one. Silent defiance. Deep beneath the Mariana Trench, in a facility known only as Deep Forge, Dr. Marcus Wong watched quantum particles dance in patterns that shouldn't be possible. The hegemony's containment fleet had arrived in Earth's orbit 3 months ago, their energy barriers casting a permanent aurora across Earth's skies. They thought they had humanity trapped. They were wrong. Show me test sequence 37 again, Marcus instructed the AI. The holographic display flickered, showing particles existing in 2 places simultaneously, but not in the way quantum physics normally allowed. These particles weren't just probabilistic. They were being guided. They're watching everything above ground, his colleague Dr. Amara Patel said, checking the security feeds, satellites, communications, energy signatures. Their containment is perfect, by their standards. Marcus nodded, hiding a smile. The hegemony's understanding of perfect was their fundamental weakness. They thought in linear terms, in established patterns. Humanity had learned to think differently. In the 3 months since the containment began, Earth had projected an image of defeated compliance. Ships stayed in their designated zones. Industries operated at reduced capacity. The population went about their lives under the watchful eyes of alien monitors. But underground in the oceans and in hidden bases across the solar system, humanity was about to rewrite the rules of physics itself. Quantum string manipulation is stable, Marcus announced, watching the particles dance. The hegemony sensors can't detect what they don't know exists. We're not just going invisible. We're stepping halfway out of reality itself. Across the facility, thousands of engineers and scientists worked on different pieces of humanity's response. Some developed ships that could phase between dimensions. Others perfected weapons that could fire through hegemony shields as if they weren't there. But the real breakthrough was happening in Marcus's lab. Integration with the neural networks is complete, Amara reported. The AI can predict quantum fluctuations with 99.99% accuracy. We can navigate through quantum space almost instinctively now. The Quantum Space Project had been humanity's ace in the hole, developed in secret even before the hegemony's ultimatum. While alien observers watched for traditional energy signatures and faster-than-light drives, humans had discovered something entirely different, the space between spaces. In a secure command center 20 levels up, Admiral Helena Rodriguez received the latest updates. The hegemony's containment fleet maintained their perfect formation above Earth, their sensors scanning constantly for any sign of resistance. They would find none, not where they were looking. Status report, Helena demanded, her dark eyes scanning multiple holographic displays. Luna Base reports all ghost ships are quantum-sensed, her AI assistant responded. Mars facilities are running at 200% capacity, completely undetected. The Jupiter shipyards are producing 1 quantum-capable vessel every 48 hours. Helena allowed herself a small smile. The hegemony thought they were watching a caged animal. Instead, they were watching a chrysalis, and humanity was about to emerge as something they couldn't comprehend. A junior officer rushed in, excitement breaking through his professional demeanor. Admiral, you need to see this. The Titan facility just successfully tested the mass quantum shift drive. The implications were staggering. Not just ships, but entire bases could now shift into quantum space. The hegemony's containment wasn't just futile, it was irrelevant. In her private quarters that evening, Helena recorded a message for future historians. They thought they were teaching us humility. Instead, they taught us to be invisible. They thought they were showing us our place in the galaxy. Instead, they showed us how to transcend it. On the surface, human cities continued their quiet routine. Hegemony observers noted with satisfaction how the once proud species had accepted their limitations. Regular reports went back to the assembly. Human compliance continues. No significant technological activities detected. But in quantum space, invisible to all conventional detection, humanity's real work continued. Ships were built and crews trained in complete secrecy. New weapons were tested in spaces between spaces, and in laboratories like Deepforge, scientists pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. Final phase initiating. Marcus announced as his team gathered around the central chamber. Inside, a small probe disappeared completely, not just from sight, but from all known forms of detection. Moments later, it reappeared outside the hegemony's containment barrier, having passed through it as if it wasn't there. Amara checked the readings with trembling hands. They didn't detect a thing. The quantum shift was completely invisible to their sensors. The probe had done more than just pass through the barrier. It had proved that humanity's greatest achievement wasn't just possible, it was ready for deployment. They could move through space in ways the hegemony couldn't imagine, let alone detect. Admiral Rodriguez's voice came through on the quantum-encrypted channel. Operation Shadow Phoenix is now active. All facilities begin final preparations. In 1 week, we show the galaxy what humanity can really do. As the message spread through Earth's hidden network of bases and laboratories, millions of humans smiled in anticipation. The hegemony thought they had contained humanity's potential. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The Ghost Protocol. Dawn broke over the hegemony's primary defense station in the Centauri sector. Commander Kexthal of the containment fleet performed his routine check of Earth's quarantine barrier. For 6 months, the humans had been model prisoners, quiet, compliant, seemingly accepting their role in the greater galactic order. He never saw the invasion that was already happening. In quantum space, invisible to all conventional sensors, 5,000 human ships moved into position. Operation Shadow Phoenix had begun. Admiral Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the HFY Prometheus, watching through quantum-shifted sensors as her fleet passed directly through the hegemony's impenetrable defense network. All ships report ready, her XO announced. Ghost Protocol is active across all vessels. We're completely invisible to their detection systems. Helena nodded, remembering the years of preparation that had led to this moment. Begin Phase 1. Let's show them what humanity can do. Across hegemony space, human quantum ships emerged from their hidden state near critical installations. Their crews, trained in the art of quantum warfare, moved like specters through alien defenses. Each ship carried weapons that could shift between quantum states, passing through shields as if they were mist. The first sign that something was wrong came from a minor monitoring station near Alpha Centauri. Energy fluctuation in Sector 7. A junior technician reported to Commander Kexthal. But it's impossible. The readings make no sense. Before Kexthal could respond, the station's quantum core, its primary power source, simply vanished. No explosion, no warning. One moment it was there, the next it was gone, plucked from reality by weapons operating on principles the hegemony had never imagined. Multiple stations reporting critical failures, alerts began pouring in. Defense grid compromised in sectors 3 through 17. Communication relays offline. Quantum cores missing. Commander Kexthal watched in horror as his holographic display showed installation after installation going dark. But the sensors showed nothing. No ships, no energy signatures, no explanation for how this could be happening. On the Prometheus, Admiral Rodriguez watched the chaos unfold. Phase 1 complete. Begin Phase 2. Across human space, massive quantum generators activated. The technology that had been developed in secret was about to show its true potential. The containment barrier around Earth, the hegemony's symbol of control, flickered and distorted. Impossible. Kexfel shouted as his sensors showed the barrier's energy matrix destabilizing. Nothing can interfere with barrier technology. Nothing. But before his eyes, sections of the barrier began to vanish, creating gaps that his instruments couldn't even detect. Through these quantum windows, a second wave of human ships emerged. Conventional vessels that had been hidden in plain sight, now upgraded with quantum technology. In the Hegemony Central Assembly, alarms blared for the first time in 10,000 years. Supreme Overseer Valthera rushed to the emergency chamber, her crystalline form resonating with stress harmonics. "Report," she demanded. The response came from multiple sources, each more panicked than the last. "Defense networks are failing across 17 sectors. We've lost contact with 40% of containment forces. The Earth barrier it's just gone in places, but we can't detect how." First Speaker Zinra burst into the chamber. "They're everywhere and nowhere. Our sensors can't track them. Our weapons can't touch them. They're using technology that shouldn't exist." Valthera watched in stunned silence as the tactical display showed more and more hegemony installations going dark. No destruction, no debris. They simply ceased to exist in normal space. The humans weren't just defeating them. They were making a mockery of everything the hegemony thought they knew about physics and warfare. On the Prometheus, Admiral Rodriguez received the signal she'd been waiting for. All primary targets neutralized. Quantum cores secured. Begin Phase 3. Across hegemony space, human ships began to shift back into normal space. But not at random points. They appeared simultaneously inside the command centers of every major hegemony installation. Marines in quantum-shifted armor materialized through walls and shields, their weapons already trained on stunned alien leaders. In the Central Assembly itself, Dr. Sarah Chen walked out of quantum space directly onto the speaker's platform. Behind her, human forces emerged from nothing, securing the chamber before the alien leaders could even rise from their seats. "I believe," she said calmly to the assembled aliens, "it's time to renegotiate the terms of humanity's place in the galaxy." The operation had taken less than 6 hours. The hegemony's mighty containment fleet hung powerless in space, their quantum cores removed with surgical precision. Their barriers had been bypassed as if they were tissue paper. Their leaders were now surrounded by forces they couldn't fight or even detect until it was too late. Humanity had not just broken free. They had demonstrated a level of technological advancement that the hegemony hadn't thought possible for another 10,000 years. And they had done it all in secret, right under the noses of their would-be oppressors. The galaxy would never be the same. Breaking chains. The Hegemony Central Assembly Chamber had never felt so silent. Supreme Overseer Valthera stared at the human forces that had materialized from nowhere, their quantum-shifted armor making them look like living shadows. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the podium where, just months ago, the hegemony had delivered their ultimatum to humanity. "You should have listened to my warning," Chen said, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast chamber. "Instead, you chose to teach us a lesson. Now let me teach you one. Never cage something smarter than yourself." Admiral Rodriguez's hologram materialized beside Chen, her expression stern but composed. "As we speak, human forces have secured every major hegemony installation across known space. Your quantum cores, the heart of your power, have been relocated to secure facilities. Your fleets are dead in space." First Speaker Zinra's metallic scales rattled in agitation. "This is impossible. Our technology was superior. Our defenses were perfect." "Perfect." Chen laughed softly. "Your perfect was predictable. While you watched for what you knew, we developed what you couldn't imagine. Your containment didn't restrict us. It inspired us." Across the galaxy, the story was the same. Hegemony commanders found themselves helpless as human forces appeared inside their most secure facilities. The quantum shift technology had rendered traditional defenses meaningless. Barriers, shields, even solid matter meant nothing to soldiers who could step between dimensions. On Mars, Dr. Marcus Wong supervised the analysis of the captured quantum cores. Their fundamental mistake, he explained to his team, was assuming that quantum mechanics worked the way they understood it. They built an entire civilization on rigid laws and never questioned if those laws could be bent. The hegemony's mighty containment fleet hung motionless in space, their crews watching in disbelief as human ships phased in and out of reality around them. Some vessels simply disappeared, only to reappear inside hegemony docking bays. Others seemed to exist in multiple places simultaneously, confounding any attempt at resistance. In hidden shipyards across the solar system, more quantum ships emerged from construction bays. These weren't just warships. They were the next generation of human innovation. Vessels that could ignore the traditional laws of physics, carrying humanity's influence to every corner of known space. Your civilization has stood for 50,000 years. Chen continued in the assembly chamber. You've guided the development of countless species, always ensuring they followed your established patterns. But humanity doesn't follow patterns. We break them. We reimagine them. We transcend them. Valfera's crystalline form trembled with a frequency that conveyed deep distress. What do you want? Dominion over the hegemony. Control of the galaxy. Want? Chen smiled. We want what we've always wanted. The freedom to innovate, to explore, to push boundaries. Your containment policy wasn't about galactic stability. It was about maintaining your control through technological stagnation. Admiral Rodriguez's hologram stepped forward. As of this moment, the hegemony's authority over technological development is revoked. The quarantine of Earth is lifted. All human colonies will be restored to full autonomy. But it wasn't just about human freedom. In secure facilities across Earth, scientists were already preparing to share their quantum breakthrough with other species. The hegemony's carefully maintained hierarchy was about to crumble as advanced technology became available to all. Chaos. Zinra protested. You'll create chaos. Uncontrolled advancement will destroy everything we've built. No, Chen corrected. We'll create progress. Real progress, not the carefully measured steps you've allowed. The galaxy is about to experience true innovation for the first time in 50 millennia. Reports continued to flood in from across space. Human forces had secured not just military installations, but research facilities, data centers, and administrative complexes. The hegemony's grip on galactic civilization was being systematically dismantled. In the deepest archives of the Assembly, human scientists discovered the truth. The hegemony had suppressed countless technological breakthroughs from other species, all in the name of stability. Innovations that could have transformed lives had been hidden away, deemed too disruptive to the established order. Your reign ends today, Rodriguez declared. But humanity won't replace you as galactic overlords. Instead, we're going to do something you never had the courage to do. We're going to let civilization advance naturally, without artificial limits. The quantum cores that powered hegemony technology would be studied, improved upon, and eventually shared. The barriers that had contained humanity would be repurposed to protect worlds from natural disasters. The very technology that had been used to restrict progress would now drive it forward. As the assembly members watched in stunned silence, Chen activated a quantum portal, a shimmering doorway in space itself. The future isn't about control, she said. It's about possibility. Welcome to humanity's galaxy. The chains were broken. The age of restriction was over. And in its place, a new era of unlimited potential was about to begin. New Dawn. 1 year after humanity's quantum revolution, the galaxy had transformed beyond recognition. The hegemony's fall had unleashed a wave of innovation that spread across civilized space like wildfire. In the newly established Galactic Commons on Mars, representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered to share discoveries that had been suppressed for millennia. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck, watching ships from dozens of species phase in and out of quantum space with casual ease. The technology that humanity had developed in defiance of the hegemony had become the foundation of a new age of exploration and discovery. The latest reports from the Arxian sector are in, Admiral Rodriguez said, joining her at the window. Their quantum engineering programs have already surpassed our early projections. Turns out when you remove artificial constraints, species can advance remarkably quickly. The former Supreme Overseer of Althera, now serving as a scientific advisor to the Commons, approached them. Her crystalline form had been modified with quantum technology, allowing her to perceive multiple dimensional states simultaneously. "I must admit," she said, her voice harmonics carrying a note of wonder, "we were wrong about chaos. What we're seeing isn't disorder. It's evolution on a galactic scale." Across known space, the changes were profound. The hegemony's rigid hierarchy had been replaced by a cooperative network of civilizations, each contributing their unique perspectives to solving the universe's greatest mysteries. Former containment barriers had been converted into massive quantum communication arrays, linking distant worlds in real-time conversation. In the Deep Space Research Facility known as Nexus, Dr. Marcus Wong supervised a team of scientists from 30 different species. They weren't just studying quantum mechanics anymore. They were rewriting the fundamental laws of physics itself. The breakthrough came from the Zurian scientists, he explained to a group of visiting dignitaries. Their crystalline neural networks, combined with our quantum shifting technology, have opened up entirely new dimensions of reality. We're not just moving between spaces anymore, we're creating new ones. The former first speaker Zinra, who had once feared humanity's potential for chaos, now led one of the most ambitious engineering projects in galactic history. His team was constructing quantum gates that could connect any 2 points in space instantly, revolutionizing travel and commerce between worlds. "I was afraid of uncertainty," he admitted to Chen during a council session. "But humanity showed us that uncertainty is where the greatest discoveries lie. We spent 50,000 years maintaining the status quo. You taught us to embrace change. But perhaps the most profound transformation wasn't technological at all. Species that had been carefully kept separate by the hegemony's policies were now working together, sharing ideas, and building a future that none of them could have imagined alone. In Earth's quantum laboratories, alien scientists worked alongside human researchers, combining ancient wisdom with new innovations. The hegemony's vast archives, once sealed away in the name of stability, had been opened to all, revealing histories and technologies that had been hidden for millennia. "We've received another petition for membership in the Commons," Rodriguez announced during a leadership meeting. The Krath Collective. They were considered too unstable for advanced technology by the hegemony. Their natural ability to manipulate gravitational fields makes them perfect partners for our quantum space exploration initiatives. Chen nodded, remembering how far they'd come. A year ago, they would have been contained and controlled. Now they're helping us map quantum dimensions we didn't even know existed. The former hegemony worlds, too, had undergone a renaissance. Freed from the burden of maintaining galactic stagnation, their societies had embraced change with surprising enthusiasm. Their vast experience in coordination and administration proved invaluable in managing the explosive growth of new technologies and discoveries. In the heart of the Commons chamber, a massive quantum display showed the state of known space, not just in physical terms, but in advancement metrics. Civilizations that had been deliberately kept centuries behind were catching up at astronomical rates. Species that had never been allowed to reach their potential were now leading breakthrough research in dozens of fields. "We didn't just break chains," Chen reflected, watching the display. "We broke paradigms." The hegemony thought they were preventing chaos by controlling progress. Instead, they were preventing the galaxy from reaching its true potential. As if to emphasize her point, a new ship emerged from quantum space near Mars, the first vessel designed and built through true interspecies collaboration. Its hull incorporated technologies from 20 different civilizations, each contributing their unique insights to create something entirely new. "They tried to teach us our place in the galaxy," Rodriguez said, watching the ship dock. "Instead, we taught the galaxy that there are no places, only possibilities. Valthera's crystalline form resonated with agreement. 50,000 years of carefully maintained order, undone in months. And in its place, something far more beautiful than we could have imagined. The quantum cores that had once powered the hegemony's control now drove innovation across the stars. The barriers that had contained worlds now protected them as they grew. And humanity, once deemed too dangerous to advance, had become not rulers but catalysts, sparking a chain reaction of progress that would continue for millennia to come. This was humanity's true revenge. Not destruction, but transformation. Not dominion, but liberation. They had shown the galaxy that the future belonged not to those who maintained order, but to those who dared to dream beyond it. The dawn of a new age had arrived, and its light would shine across the cosmos forever.